Hey everybody, it's Jason from HC Airsoft, and I'm going to bring you guys my first flight vlog. I'm using this with my Contour camera. I really wish I had an appropriate mount for my GoPro, but rest assured guys, that is coming, as well as a device which will let me record cockpit audio. So not only will I have better quality and a wider field of view, I will also have cockpit audio helping me to review my flights a lot better, and also bringing a more entertaining video to you guys. So this is just going to be traffic pattern work after not being in the air for about 4 weeks, 3 weeks actually. 3 weeks is the correct amount of time, and I needed to do a little bit of touch up on traffic pattern work before I can go ahead and solo. So like I said guys, these videos will get a lot more cooler with time, and once the right gear comes in place, I will have my hat-mounted GoPro, and I will have the Contour camera currently used to record this spacing on the dash, so I can record all my landings and takeoffs and general flight profiles a lot better. Now I am a little bit sick, so I do apologize for my very nasally sounding voice. If you happen to be annoyed by those kind of voices, I know I am. And again guys, rest assured, I plan on taking you every step of the way on my journey to become a private pilot. And this is just the first of hopefully many to come. So I just received my clearance to taxi to runway 15 via Foxtrot ramp and Alpha, and I'm currently snaking my way across this particular area within Martin State Airport. It gets a little bit boring, taxiing is slow, so we're just going to cut straight to the run-up and first takeoff. Now, in case you're not familiar with brief flights essentially are the last step of checking to see that an airplane is all checked out and ready for a flight that day before you actually step foot in the airplane, and also before you actually take to the skies. As in this case, the interior cockpit checklist, ensuring all your flight instruments, flight controls, engine operation, radios, etc. are all running perfectly smooth for the operation. And if a pre-flight does uncover an error, you are to stop flying immediately, as that is unsafe operations. But please do not take my word as gospel on any of this stuff, because I am not a certified flight instructor, nor am I an FAA examiner. I'm just merely trying to spread out some common sense. And alrighty, here we have the first of 9 takeoffs for today. Every takeoff is alright with me. I'm not as bad at taking off as I am as bad at landing in this particular flight. So essentially the main topic throughout this entire video will just be covering what I could have done better on every single landing, and that will hopefully ensure that I don't have as much rust the next time I go out for a flight, because I have this video existing that will hopefully prevent any other mistakes that I may make in my last few feet, literally, of altitude before I go in for a round out and flare. Funny thing is, my instructor actually says that the way I fly the pattern is almost perfect. It's the way I land that kind of sucks sometimes. So really the only time that you're going to see a full traffic pattern flight in this entire video is right here, and even then it's sped up. So right here is a perfect example of a nomenclature error between myself and my instructor. So previously, when I was experiencing a phenomenon known as sinking when flying, it would be on a short final, and usually in pretty rough weather, pretty windy. And I would add power because, of course, you do not want to have a sudden decrease of altitude, which is what sinking is known as, before you're even on the runway. In this case, I was right directly over the runway threshold, and my instructor said, you're sinking. Essentially, that is clue that, yes, I have rounded out, but I am not flaring. I'm not putting my nose up to nicely touch the main gear on the runway. Now, I do not want to have this happen again. I was adding power, not putting my nose up, and this will happen a couple more times before I realize, oh shit, that's the signal. And then the next couple landings after that are quite well executed in terms of technique, maybe not feel, but technique. Now here I again repeat the mistake of not putting my nose up when sinking. Again, I did round out at the correct area, the correct time, and at the correct altitude, but I did not flare correctly. Now here, this approach does look good, and my landing also does look good. Unfortunately, you cannot hear what my instructor is saying, but he is complimenting my usage of putting my nose up. Now, all the other landings will essentially look a lot like this, with technique being down. It's just that a few other times I do mess up my approach a little bit, and when extending the base, or excuse me, when extending downwind when the controller told me to, I did get off center quite a bit, and it was noticeably and embarrassingly bad. However, I was able to make up for it by having an appropriate landing. Well guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope I can find some use out of it, otherwise it's just going to be some entertainment. I really do hope to use a much better setup, and I do plan on getting that to help me review flights a lot more accurately, and of course, make this whole editing process a lot more enjoyable, because just having a single clip no longer satisfies my nerdy video making hobby. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.